Hello. I'm going to try something new. You'll see, I'm outside, that's one thing. So there's more variables for distractions and sounds, but it's also, I really like the lighting. That's important. And light, actually, something is a gift from God, and so is this next thing, love. That is the core of what we're trying to do here in relationships, in parenting, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. And there is a book that has influenced Sungshim and I, and actually it's the people behind the book that have influenced us more. Dr. Jim Wilder and Dr. Marcus Warner wrote a book called Rare Leadership. And I'm going to use some ideas from that book to talk about parenting. They contrast these two things, and here's a question that I want you to think about, and then I'll give you the definition of these two. And you'll know these ideas, but I think I really like their definitions. So the first question is, do you want to manage your family or lead your family? You could even just pause this now, talk about it as couples, talk about it as mom and dad. Do you want to manage your family or lead your family? And here is their definition of management. Management is the efficient accomplishment of tasks. So, some of us are really good at management, and management is a needed thing in all of life. There are tasks that need to be done, and we need to get them done efficiently so we can live well. But when we think about our families, do we manage them? Or do we manage our tasks or our people? Here's how in Rare Leadership they define leadership, so that you can kind of talk about which one do you do? Leadership, as they defined it, is producing and maintaining full engagement from our group in what matters. And in the book they talk about full engagement means joyful engagement. Joyful engagement means, hey, we're glad to be in this together. We're a people, we're a group, we're a family, we're engaged, we care about each other, and then the focus on what matters. So think about that. Would be a good time to think about personally. Is my posture geared towards management? I think about all the things that need to be done. Or is it geared toward leadership? As defined here, you do have to identify what matters, because this management is just at one level, but leadership is actually a higher level, because management, you have to think about what matters, what needs to get done, can we get it done in the fastest way. Leadership is what matters, and can I get people joyfully engaged in what matters? So you can think about your general posture in this individual as mom and dad, and my neighbor's here, so the other thing you can do in terms of leadership is what matters. Are you on the same page of what matters to you as mom and dad, as husband and wife, and even include your kids depending on their age? What matters? Are you loving and serving each other? Are you making a difference in other people's lives? Are you identifying each person's gifts and strengths that you bring, and helping them kind of pursue a life that includes and builds and integrates those things that matter the most? So if you want, you could even just take a moment and pause and think about those things and ask Jesus, are we doing things? What's our top 3 things that matter to us as a family? Does that line up with God's character? Does it line up with who you are and what you want for us? So that is a huge thing. If you really take it to heart, you really look at it. Am I managing tasks, and am I leading people? And who are the people that I'm leading? Who are these? Sometimes they're little people, and sometimes they're younger than you, but they're bigger than you. And what matters to our family? Let's talk about it as mom and dad. What are the things that matter to us? Is it going to church? Is it reading the Bible? And when you even do that, you could do those things, but not really growing in love for Jesus and growing in love for one another. You always have to test the fruit. What is the fruit in the things that you are doing? And I would say do that regularly. Do that on if you want to say a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, is love increasing because of the things that we are doing? That's the thing to kind of really think about and reflect on as the leaders of your little family. The next thing I want to talk about is rare leadership. That's the name of the book, and they have rare stands for things. So here, let's take a look. R is remain relational. A, act like yourself. R, return to joy. E, endure hardship well. Rare leadership. Actually, you see how I wrote these things down. This is digital, that's analog. I'm integrating them. So we could talk about each one of those for a full teaching episode, but we're going to focus on remain relational. What does it mean to remain relational? It would be good to think about that. And the way I like to teach is to draw out what's within you already. I believe if you've been following Jesus for any length of time, longer than a week, you probably know some basics about what it means to remain relational. You have ideas personally from your family, from your own temperament, your own personality, what it means to remain relational. So I encourage you to think about that. If you want to write it down, what does it mean to remain relational? And where do you get your ideas from, where it means to remain relational? You have a history, you have a family that you come from, you have ideas of what it means to remain relational. It would be good to talk about those things. And the other source that I would encourage you to do is God's Word. What does God's Word have to say about remaining relational? This is where you could look at the things we've already discussed. What words of God have you been meditating on that help you remain relational? I have some already, I have pockets of them, anchors, they're cornerstone ones that I have about what it means to remain relational. But I really want to draw it out of you. What's inside your heart from God's Word that will inspire you, that is shaping your imagination of this is the kind of family we can have. This is the kind of people we can be in this family. That's one thing that Sungshim and I do is we talk about this is what it means to be a Lapnau. Lapnaus don't treat people in rude ways. When we do treat people in rude ways, Lapnaus are the kind of people who apologize, recognize what we did, and we make it right. That's what it means to be a people. Your identity is largely formed by the people that you hang around the most with and their imagination of what it means to be a people. So as a mom and dad, you are the leaders of that little tribe, of that little group, those people, and you come from a line too, so take the best from what it means to be a people and study